Okay, let's get back to this, and we're starting from here this time. Mostly because I appreciate the sounds of the ocean right here. And I don't think that, no one says anything new right now. Sorry, no one says anything new right now, but maybe Alakazam does, because he's moved positions. For many years, countless Pokemon have served on rescue teams. Many have engraved their names in glory, but if anyone asks about the greatest of them all, there is but one hero. It's Lucario, whose exploits as a rescue leader are the stuff of legend. I aspire to become like Lucario. To become even closer to Lucario's greatness. That is my goal and my dream. I don't know if that's new or not. I have no memory of that. So now let's move on. And we're gonna start the Marvelous Sea now. And there are 6 jobs there are 6 jobs in here for us, and one of them is an escort mission. So not the most fun, and we're going to be going in with this team instead because this is the one that's actually designed for doing water levels. I do have to edit the held items though. And the reason for that is that Magda and Dr. Wily are both the Pokemon that I have that use Discharge. But for the most part, the main reason to have Magda on the team is for Discharge. So I usually keep the Efficient Bandana on her. So this team is a little bit different in terms of the team composition. And again, this one is designed for going through water dungeons, which is maybe not going to help here because who knows what the hell is in this dungeon. But this is also one of the teams that I made for going through long dungeons as well. So it's not that I fully expect the Marvelous Sea to be long, but if it does turn out to be long, I say long quote unquote, but it's more like, if it turns out that it's more difficult than I expected, well, this team is fairly okay with that. I'm not going to be hurting for food. And thank you for having a short escort mission. I just have to find where it is. So yeah, like right now... Okay. Yeah, the Pokemon in here are just stupidly high level. Normally, one Aura Sphere should be enough to take down a Pidgey, but it's not, and it leaves me kinda worried. Oh yeah, there are Pidgey in here. Anyways, my thoughts about the, Marvelous Sea and the Fantasy Strait is that I can't really figure out the difference between the two. So like, I know that I think in the original game, these were... What? In the original game, these were both, Wonder events or something. They were both the Marvelous Sea and the Fantasy Strait were special event dungeons that you had to get through download. And for this game instead, they made it available in-game by completing pretty much everything, which is what I prefer overall, but going through it now, I'm questioning what the point of it all was. Alright, so more fainted Pokemon are appearing, and we can talk about some of my annoyance with them. So there are a few special events that happen on floors. So you can get a Kecleon room, or carpet, or whatever it is, and you can go shopping. You can get a monster house. Sometimes I think you can get those two overlapping. I think. I'm not entirely sure on that, so don't quote me. But you can get a Kecleon room, monster house, mystery house, or a fainted Pokemon. If you have a fainted Pokemon, you're guaranteed not to get a mystery house and a monster house. And I just find that to be much more annoying. Because I would rather have a mystery house than a fainted Pokemon. And at the very least, having a monster house in this dungeon would be very difficult, but it would be a new experience. Anyways, I might as... Oops, wrong Pokemon. I might as well go check out what those 3 items are in the top corner. Because I'm not exactly in a rush to finish this dungeon, now that I know how long the other one took. And this one is actually shorter than it. Ghastly? Again, like, the thematic... Okay. I mean, I guess I can talk about it now since I feel like I've gotten far enough into the Marvelous Sea to know what's going to happen. Which is to say, I don't know what's going to happen. But thematically speaking, there is no unified theme for the Marvelous Sea other than the Pokemon are really tough and they don't make sense. And I don't know what it is, but I just feel like a lot of the post-game dungeons are... Okay, not a lot of them. There are definitely some good ones, like Wyvern Hill and Dark Knight Relic, that have really tight themes and, like, thematically they're great. Shoot. I am trying to get to this Natu. That was bad. Anyways, just thematically, I feel like other post-game dungeons were much tighter in just their overall design than Fantasy Strait and Marvelous Sea. Like, quite honestly, with Fantasy Strait, I expected some full-on rainbow BS. Like, eye-searing rainbows or prisms all over the place, and like, at least make it visually more distinct, but I can't... There's nothing that sets this one. Damn it. I hate the conga line of Pokemon. Like, you need to stay at the end. Alright, so I need to go around this floor looking for a dear god, that's a stupid number of traps. I need to go around this floor looking for an oranberry. And I also need to make sure that I don't use it before then. Oh, that one is just money. Alright, that's the oranberry. Now, how many more items? Oops. There's 3 items down in that corner, so it might be worthwhile to go down there. But first... Oh my god, did I use up all of the apples already? No, I didn't. Okay. I knew I brought along a whole bunch of tiny apples. Okay, so... something weird that's kind of happening on my end is that every time I set a timer, it sometimes just resets itself. So, I don't know how long I've been playing. I think it's been about 10 minutes. So I actually might need to change this timer a bit. Anyways. Yeah. So yeah, like my timers haven't been working well. And some of it is I'm using a timer that is mostly silent. But just, I'm having trouble with it today, so I don't know how long I've been playing right now. But more back to the whole point of, some of the post-game dungeons have been good. Like, they're interesting to play. Visually they're interesting, and the Pokemon for them are really easy to remember what I'm gonna find in each dungeon. This one and Fantasy Straight have not been the case. Like, Marvelous Sea, I understand why it's this cyan blue color, even if it's really not my favorite. Why would you do this to me? Why would you? Oh my god, the game actually had the ladybug spawn in over the stairs. Anyways. Like, I understand the cyan theme for this one, but it's not my favorite. I definitely prefer the look of the water levels later on, when they get that much deeper tone. And just... But with Fantasy Straight, like, I was expecting something a bit more fantastical. Like, Sky Tower being up in, like, the clouds of Sky Tower. Or this have a water level but have, like, clouds around it instead of the coral, to make it seem more like a fantasy. But this one just... I feel like this one reused assets and... not this one. Fantasy Straight reused assets, and just visually it's... There's nothing to set it apart from this one. So, those are my current thoughts on this situation. Like, they are good high-level dungeons, and they are challenging in that regard, but just overall, in a game where I'm playing it because of the heavy visual element, I'm not getting that visual kick from it. Man, Skywave is a terrible move. But yeah, like, this is the blue that I prefer for dungeons. It's much easier on the eyes, I find, than the extremely bright cyan color. And there's a bit more contrast as well. But anyways, this job is done. And we still have more jobs to do, so we're going to stay in the dungeon. But yeah, just like, again, like, I was really impressed with, oh god. Oh god. I was really impressed with Meteor Cave just being extremely different from a lot of the other dungeons in terms of its challenge. And I'm sure that if I had done it much earlier on and I had had access to it much earlier on, it would have been a very challenging dungeon. And even then, like, it was challenging for the team that I had brought in. But like, just Meteor Cave was really interesting from from the start. And that is something that I feel has been missing from a lot of these post-game dungeons. So like, a lot of the post-game dungeons are very much like the... right, that's... the one that is throwing stones at us is going to cause trouble, so... we are going to do this and just make my life a lot easier. Now, I'm actually going to unregister these because silver spikes are not necessarily the easiest to come by. Alright, what's going on in... oh, right, I have to go to that Pokemon there. Yeah, just a lot of the post-game dungeons were a lot of the same compared to the story game dungeons. So just there just came a point where it's like, the thing that's making this game interesting is the random element. But that can only go so far continuously. So, and again, like, the challenge of Purity Forest, Joyous Tower, and Wish Cave, I feel like just having one of those would have been fine. Or 3, but not 3 99 floor versions of those. I feel like that was a bit much. Especially because for Joyous Tower, I'm going to be using the same team that I did before. And just right now, I just have to keep this Cyndaquil alive, which is going to be a challenge. But yeah, you know what, let's maybe have a look at, nope, that's the wrong button for that. Let's have a look at the team that we have so far. So yeah, 98, 94, 99, and 62, 62, and 62. The Pokemon in this dungeon are much stronger than the dungeons I've been doing today. But just for the most part, it's been a lot of the same. Why am I saying all this? Because I have run out of things to talk about with this game. So, but we have a lot of jobs in here, and that should help us make progress with getting the final rank. And we'll also get to learn what's at the end of the Marvelous Sea as well. And then I think with this, and aside from one dungeon which would be just impossible for me to get unless I sold everything and just completely failed, I have shown, I think, with the exception of some of the training ones as well, I think I've shown every dungeon on stream. And I think every dungeon has also had my genuine first reaction to it as well. Even if Marvelous Sea and Fantasy Strait are kind of the exact same dungeon. So, is it a bit disappointing? Absolutely. Now, what could they have done with these? It is a little bit hard to say, but one of the things, here's the thing, again, the Meteor Cave dungeon really impressed me with just changing up the formula, where even if I find the stairs, I still have to fight the Pokemon that's guarding the stairs. And I think I would have liked to have actually seen more of that in the post-game dungeons. Or worse, ice physics in some dungeons. Now, that probably would have been impossible to do because I feel like ice physics could be a very easy way for the developers to accidentally soft lock players. Oh shit. Yeah, so the fact that someone here in this room has magnitude or something, that's why I'm not going to actually switch to Dr. Wily or Magda. I think it's this Wooper. Oh, I don't know if this is actually going to work. Because... yeah. So I'm in a bit of a bad spot right now, but I think I can actually... I think I can switch to... Oh, now you notice that my Pokemon that Electra has low health? Okay, that's helped a lot. Yeah, that's helped a lot because I think Misdreavus no longer has Grudge. But yeah, like that Thunderbolt should have taken down that Murkrow, and it did not. Anyways, because there's a monster house on this floor, there's not going to be a mystery house. Yeah, mystery house. So as soon as I find the stairs, I can move on. I should pay attention to what items drop still in dungeons, because I know that stuff that's in my bag, it's not going to be great. Hang on. So like, the efficient bandana, I have like 30 of these. I don't need that. And then a few of these orbs I can't use anyways. I've got some plain seeds I can get rid of, etc, etc. So, Magda, yeah, Magda's fine. But, alright, we're gonna go up first, and yeah, we got lucky. Found the stairs. There are so many fainted Pokemon right now. Alright, so this Kingler has... Oh god, I have 2 Kinglers right now. That's annoying. So, I mean, if one of them faints, I'll talk about why it's so annoying. But, like, I know that both of the Kinglers have a rare ability, so I'm not going to dismiss one of them. Oh right, the really strong Pokemon in here is a Magikarp. Well, this room isn't suspicious at all. So yeah, now, one of the Kinglers has Squeeze Out, so just by walking around, I can recover. Oh, shoot. Yeah. So, the Conga Line of Doom is one of the issues I have with this game. Because it does not intelligently put your Pokemon at the end of the line. Like, I guess this might be faster. Nope, it wasn't. You're an idiot, Dr. Wily. Wait a minute, what? Dr. Wily, you are You are causing so many problems for yourself, Dr. Wily. You were in position. And now everyone is screwed up because of you. We are pushing this conga line because you were too stupid to figure out how to walk. Anyways, the AI is not always intelligent. So yeah, like, there's another Dunsparce in here. And I still have to find the stairs. Oh shoot. That's a Shuckle. So yeah, the maze rooms are really bad when you don't have Pokemon that can hover. Wasn't expecting to find a Weavile in here. So that's new. Do you want to exit the dungeon now? Great. No, we're not leaving the dungeon yet, and that's because there's still going to be some things to find at the end of the dungeon. It's just the fact that I got that message is not good, actually. So getting that message instead of the one of, like, there's still something to find in the dungeon, means that there's nothing left to find in the dungeon. Great. No matter how many times I hit this Swinub, it's not gonna faint. Oh, now it will. Alright, Max Elixir is useless, Slumber Orb is especially useless, and man, not even Dr. Wily is finding anything interesting. We're not leaving the dungeon yet. I know it's not that much longer. But yeah, because we got that message of like, hey, do you want to just like leave? This floor is not actually going to have anything special. Not even a fainted Pokemon. Although maybe you don't get that message your first time through. I don't actually remember. Oh no. So yeah. Electra fainted because of Hair Song. And I'm not going out of my way to try to recruit that Weavile because I already have one. I got one in a mystery house. And that's actually why the mystery houses are so good, because they have a fairly good chance of having a rare Pokemon in them. I think it's one of the only ways that you can recruit Pokemon like Lucario and Riolu, because they are Gen 4 Pokemon. So yeah, quite honestly, the Weavile might be unrecruitable. I'm not sure if that's a thing in this version of the game, but in the original version, there were just some Pokemon that you couldn't recruit them. And it's a lot of these crystals, so don't need those. Don't need that. Don't need that. Don't need that. Why am I not switching out my tiny apples? Because I've been getting so many Pokemon that need to be revived with apples that there's no point in switching them out for the boxes instead. It's just better to get rid of things that I'm not likely to use, like the quick orbs. Alright, so that should be everything then, and alright, that's the end of the Marvelous Sea. I am just, my honest opinion, I'm not overly impressed with the last two dungeons. Now that said, I think there were like technically DLC content in the original, so that might explain some of it. And I also think that you didn't get these dungeons. You wouldn't typically get these dungeons at the end, that just happens to be how it worked out for me. Where these were the last two dungeons I unlocked in the game. What the hell is a no-stick cap? Anyways, we're gonna sit through all of this. Okay, the Gyarados shrunk down in size. And I want to say that Cacturne is a Pokemon that deserved better. Like, it's a really cool concept for a Pokemon. And it just deserved a lot more recognition. And I think a better moveset. Also, we got two grass dark type Pokemon in the same generation. I think like maybe Cacturne should have been saved for Unova. And then you could have had like Maracas and Cacturne just causing havoc in the desert there. Or even have Maracas in Gen 3. Now, it does kind of make sense where Cacturne appeared in the games, being the Mirage Desert, but that one actually got severely reduced in ORAS compared to Emerald. But that's a different game altogether. And, terrible quests. Alright, so we still have another, according to my new timer, about another 20 minutes or so. So I'm still going to do a few more jobs as well. See what I have to sell. Shouldn't really be anything. What do you have to buy? Stuff that I'm ultimately not using, but I might as well just get. Anyways. And then, well, we'll figure out what we're doing. Although, one of the things I am absolutely going to do is put away these perfect apples. And just get some regular big apples out. Now, those are obviously better if you eat them right at the beginning, but eh. Alright, so with about 20 minutes left, I guess Dark Knight Dark Knight Relic is actually going to be the one that we do, and this is going to be to show off what I mean about the difference between just the two games. And I'm going in with this team because of the Shed Ninja issue. So, look at this. You've got like this weird long grass that's golden colored, and because they specifically picked out wheat or barley, it kind of looks like hands. And it just looks so spooky when you do it. It's like a corn maze. It's great. And then, like, this is all Ghost Pokemon and Dark-type Pokemon, pretty much, and there are Shed Ninjas all over the place that other Pokemon are going to fight, beat, and become awakened. So, like, the first time I did this dungeon, it was such... It wasn't necessarily... I'm not going to say it was necessarily a great challenge, but it was so interesting compared to what I had done with some of the other stuff. I think there were other dungeons too, like the Desert Region, that also had the Shed Ninja challenge. But, like, thematically, I felt like this one was a bit tighter for that. And I think that would have been a really interesting challenge to introduce in other other dungeons. Not just making, well, Shed Ninja the chew toy of each Pokemon. I think that if you had, like, a bit of randomness when it came to the Pokemon that you found in the dungeons, and just, like, on occasion, or just, like, as another element or indicator or another, it would be more data for the games to program, but just, like, have a percentage chance that the other Pokemon might attack each other to get the awakened status. Like, there's a chance that a Pokemon will get summoned in and it will aggro the other Pokemon, the other dungeon Pokemon in here. And not just because it's a Shed Ninja, just because, like, yeah, you summoned in something and it woke up on the wrong side of the bed. I think that could have been a really interesting challenge for the game. So yeah, we still have more jobs to do in here. And yeah, just like with the purple liquid that we're walking through too, it sets... Now, the beginning levels of the Dark Knight Relic are what I like the most. Because it does really set up this whole spooky feeling. We are in an overgrown field. The plants specifically look dead or like bone hands. And the Pokemon are fighting each other. So I think it just really sets up the eerie atmosphere that's just like, that leaves you on edge. And it's not something that a lot of the other dungeons really set up. And I'm including the much higher level dungeons than this one. Because like in the higher level dungeons, the only time that a Pokemon was going to get the awakened status is if they beat you. Whereas in like this one, the desert region, or whatever it's called, the Pokemon are going to attack each other. So you don't necessarily know when something is going to like, yeah, I want to be strong. So like, I think that if the game did have like a certain element of like, these Pokemon will attack each other, or this one's just gonna aggro everyone and it's not on anyone's side, I think that would have been really good. And like, there's some backup evidence, supporting evidence to go with that. So like, a Pokemon like Salamence is extremely territorial. And like, that's a Pokemon that would, in theory, technically have a bunch of those like magnitude moves and, well, not Surf on a Salamence, but moves that attack everyone, which really annoying, but... Alright, I have to find an apple because I didn't actually bring any with me. But like, now I have this save aisle somewhere to try and kick my butt. Oh shoot. The items are swapped around because of the Mewtwo team. I might actually leave it this way for the Mewtwo team and see how it works with that. But yeah, I unfortunately have a conga line of doom situation going on right now. And there's no way for me to get around. Okay, maybe I did find the apple. And there's just no way to get around that unless I manually switch between my partners, move one of them to the end of the line, and then keep walking. And then probably repeat that same process again because the game doesn't remember that. Alright, I still have to find the stairs in here. I knew there was a reason to bring in apples. So yeah, this is the second half of the relic, which I'm not as big a fan of, but I mean, again, like, however, I think this is a good time to talk about the different textures that we're missing from the Fantasy Strait and Marvelous Sea. So like, these ruins, they appear in other dungeons, but they've used like different color palettes for other dungeons. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Banette is really trying hard to fight this one Pokemon. God, that is a terrifying sound. Sales pitch. Like... But yeah, like, these same ruins will appear in other dungeons, but the creators went... Oh wow, Sucker Punch, finally. Went through the trouble of giving them a different color palette. And like, that seems like such a small thing to say, but after the fantasy straight, it really makes such a difference. And like, that's also why I am complaining, because like, I know that the game developers could have taken the step. Where is that? Like, they could have taken the step to like paint the Marvelous Sea again, another fainted Pokemon in a different color palette, or definitely paint the Fantasy Straight in a different color palette. And like, that ultimately is why I did find those two levels, those two dungeons, to be ultimately disappointing. The only thing that they brought to the table were much higher level Pokemon. And at the end of the day, like, they're a challenge, but they're not an interesting challenge. Because that's just brute force, have attacking moves on your team, and make sure that they're still full of PP. But otherwise, like, I wasn't changing any of my strategy. Whereas, like, for this one, definitely when I was lower level, I kinda tried to chase down the Shed Ninjas more. And it's like, well, I would rather fight you guys myself than let the other Pokemon fight you and get stronger. So yeah, like, that one's gonna get powered up. Alright, I don't think I'm going to find anything interesting here. So we're going to just move on. The random trap broke. Okay. So yeah, sometimes in the higher level dungeons, the traps will do that and just like affect everyone one at a time. Not my favorite, just because like I have to sit through the game deciding that. So yeah, the aggro idea would be like a low percentage for Pokemon to summon in and just like aggro everyone. But I still think it would be an interesting idea for the developers to do. Just like, on occasion, you'll have a Pokemon that will want to fight everything and everyone, including itself, its mother, and God. Alright, so doing that because I don't feel like using an apple if I don't have to. But I am losing health orbs. Anyways, there's something coming down here. Well, guess what? I don't have any physical moves, so that's fine. Oh, I thought this would have been... There we go. Oof. Yeah, Keklon, your wares are really bad right now. Just terrible. Absolutely terrible. The Spurn Orb might be interesting, though. I've never actually used one because they only appeared in the late game for me. Alright, this apple I'm gonna eat. Just because I found it on the ground. Which is a weird statement, but hey, it's Pokemon Mystery Dungeon. The game is weird when you think about it for more than 5 seconds. But yeah, just visually, I feel like this part of the Dark Knight relic could have been, oh damn it, could have been a bit more spooky overall, but like, I feel like the stone right now are just a bit too light. Oh wait, I know what the stairs are. Duh. Yeah, that was kind of dumb of me. Yeah, so there was a shed ninja down there that was just sleeping. And the thing is that I've never recruited a shed ninja, and again, I'm not sure if it's one of the Pokemon where you just cannot actually recruit. Anyways, I've got a bit of a conga line situation going, so I need to be careful of that. Yeah, so like I've got my client at the end of the line there. Which, not great. So yeah, well, I mean, did we have this darker stone before? I don't think we did. But yeah, that's kind of what I mean by you can make things a little bit more visually interesting for each part than what we got. So again, I think that this relic, the Dark Knight relic, especially in the early parts of the dungeon, are really strong. And just like, also, thematically, the Pokemon make sense. But I guess that's neither here nor there. And, well, I mean, for example, we have this guy right here. And because I knocked it out, it means that, well, there's not 2 awakened Pokemon in this dungeon. Anyways, now because of that, we do know where it is, exactly. So I think that might still be it down there. But yeah, like, we knew that it was going to be in the same room as the Mina because of the change focus. And anyways, the conga line causes issues. I don't think it's too much longer, so... But I've spent most of this complaining about... I've spent most of this time complaining about the Marvelous Sea, so I think this is where I need to end the stream. So, I mean, this is where I'm going to end the stream. have a good one and good night, and next time it should be the beginning of Joyous Tower. Please help me. Anyways, have a good one and good night.